Yep, this is the PA Public Land Challenge. For those of you who never hunted in PA, just so you know, the hunting pressure in Pennsylvania is stacked for sure. And hunting the mountains is no easy task for anybody who's ever actually done it. Last year, it was a stroke of luck, God, and a little bit of knowing what I'm doing. But I got it done. First time hunting public land last year. Got it done in 6 sits up there. It was epic. Literally ended up getting on the ground at the super windy day and shot this. He didn't score that much, you know, probably like 110 inches, but he was mature. He was an older deer and he just had like real nice wide 8-point, but he had shorter tines, you know. They were like 4 or 5 inches, but I still got a mature deer 18 yards off the ground. First time on the ground hunting. That was the craziest experience of my life. I literally fell in love with still hunting that day. It was on Halloween, so that was sick. Looking to go up and redo it again this year, but this time I'm going for a mature buck. Well, I should say a buck that scores well. So I would love to break that 140 mark this year. I would love that so much. I shot a 137 2 years ago. That was on private, but I would love to shoot a 140. I've never shot over 140, and that's my goal this year, to hit 140. So we're gonna go turn up some big deer, at least find some mature sign. I'm not putting out cameras today, but I'm gonna go find some good spots. And I don't like using, I've come to learn that I always relied on cameras and I was always one step behind. So I'm switching it up. And I'm only doing cameras for inventory purposes only. Besides that, I'm still gonna do in-season scouting. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna rely on is woodsmanship. And that right there has made me a better hunter. And I'm gonna go into the woods today, show you guys what I like to look for, and see if we could turn up some good mature sign. So we'll see you there. We are back, just made it up here. Shout out to Brunt. They sent me some nice boots. I know they make workwear, but I wanted to use it for hiking and scouting. So they hooked me up with a nice pair of boots. I appreciate it because I am a small creator. So I appreciate that they care about everyone like that and not just the big guys. That means a lot. So today I'm just going to be testing them out while I'm scouting. Going to be doing some steep terrain and putting on some miles, so we'll see how it feels by the end of the day. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, perfect morning. Gonna get some miles in before it gets too hot, and I think we're gonna get into some good signs, so I'm excited to see what I turn up. I want to get some, at least a general idea before the forest floor gets too full, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be cool to even stumble upon a shed today. I've never found one in my life. So let's go see what we can find. Just a quick little tip to turn up your woodsmanship just a little bit. I don't have anybody to teach me what trees are what, so I downloaded the Picture This app, which you just take a picture of the tree, plant, whatever it is, and it'll tell you exactly what it is, and it'll tell you a little bit about it. So obviously I'm seeing some acorn caps on the ground here, but to me, I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning the different tree types. And I know oaks are based off leaves, but if there is no leaves, it's hard to tell. So just getting to learn the bark of white oaks, red oaks, etc. But I just want to show you this real quick. You just take a picture of the bark. I mean, it does cost like 40 bucks a year for this or something, but just want to show you how cool this is and truly helps you in the woods. Look, northern red oak. Gives you some facts about it. Tell you where it's native to. I don't know. Tells you a lot. Even sometimes it'll, oh, you get on here, it'll tell you more. But I know I was looking at a tree the other day and it was like, yeah, great for deer. Like, so that's just a cool little tip if you guys also don't have anybody to help you out. I think this is just like a giant oak flat up here, so I could see a bunch of deer trails going through it. I'm going to work my way out to this point and see if there's any bedding off this point. And if not, we're just going to keep working through, finding terrain features and looking for some. I'm probably only 200 yards from the truck, but man, there is a lot of deer sign in here already. And just like this is an old buck rub here. And just based off what I can tell, obviously it's a smaller tree, which I don't think tree size really matters, but I think the height really matters. Typically, you know, most buck rubs are just going to be in this lower portion. Those are just younger deer because they're not as tall and their antlers aren't as large. But once you start getting into them big mature bucks, you're going to see their tines end up coming, you know, up here even. It's just noticeably different. But start paying attention to how high normal rubs are, and then once you see a mature rub, you're gonna be like, ah, okay, now it's starting to click. Look at that. Now that's fresh. So we're not too far from the truck, only a few hundred yards, but like I was just saying, this is right along that edge, man, and there's a bunch of droppings here. I guarantee I'm gonna start running into some buck rubs and scrapes. And then mature bucks, they just feel a lot safer moving through this cover. It's thick, but it's not too thick. And I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised even if we find a shed back here. But we're getting out towards that point where he's probably bedding. So let's keep on trucking. Just walk literally another 15 feet and found a nice scrape tree. Scrape here, scrape there. This little branch is broken off here, so definitely getting into some buck territory now. And dude, the amount of deer poop back here is insane. I'll tell you that. I'm already loving this spot. There's a nice buck rub right there. I wouldn't say nice, but there's a buck rub right there. And I can't wait to get out to this point, I'm telling you. That's exciting. But I'm gonna start marking all this stuff on my Spartan Forge app, and whenever you look back later on and you be like, this is here, this is here, this is here, and you're zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, it'll start making more sense to you how the deer are traveling, how they're using the terrain, and it's just gonna get you that much closer to actually capitalizing on a big deer. Okay, I dropped off this point down over the hill about 50 yards or so, following a bunch of deer trails. Some coming around this hill, dropping down off the hill, coming up the hill. You kind of just see them all coming together, but a bunch of exit routes right here, feeding up on top. I'm sure there's doe bedding close by, but found my first buck bed. There's actually some good size pellets around here. You can see those are pretty good size, and there's a bunch. So dude spends a lot of time here. There is some hair. There's a lot of hair actually, you can see, but it's up on top. See, bunch of hair. But there's on top of the leaves, it's under the leaves, so I would say this is a pretty well used bed. It's pretty worn down. Got some good cover. You can see a good ways down the hill. And this is a south facing slope. You got the thermals coming up too, so this is a really good spot for him. And I would like to see what deer's using this, because I think it's a mature buck. That's for sure. I'm sure you can't tell how steep this mountain is from the camera, but this is very steep right here. I actually just jumped 2 deer down on this flat, so I'm gonna drop down off of this elevation. We'll search around in that flat. Looks like there's a good trail runs across there, and get some more intel down there where they like to probably feed and just hang out. Just dropped down off that point, like I said, good couple hundred yards, and I'm getting down into this drainage over here. Well, there's a small, looks like a small spring or just a drainage that runs off here into a bigger drainage. But just poking around up here, it was more open up there. It just started to change into a little bit of thicker stuff, like all these little saplings here. And I just come across another bed. There's hair in it. as you can see, if you can see, but there's more hair in this bed. And I would assume with the south facing slope over here, like those thermals are rising, that deer's smelling everything that's in that drainage. So this is a really good spot for him to be, and he could see a long ways. I only see one bed here, so I'm definitely saying it's buck bedding. Some fresh scat, a little bit of some buck rubs in and out of here. So even though this is about halfway down the ridge, it's kind of like a micro point, to be honest. And I just bumped 2 deer out of here. I couldn't see what they were, but they just blew at me and took off. So I'll be marking this, and I would love to figure out some good access. It's like impossible to access it from the bottom unless you're willing to travel a long ways. And unfortunately, e-bikes are illegal in Pennsylvania unless you're on state forest and not game lands. Literally just got so happy for a second. Dropped down into this bottom quite a ways. Seen a nice flat spot on the side of this hill right above this creek. I was like, oh, that's a deer bed, I guarantee it. Get up here and find some deer hair under the leaves and stuff. I'm like, oh, some bone. Here something died. Something died here. Oh, look at that snail. That's so cool. That last deer bed's right there. I walked 10 feet up the hill, found another deer bed, and look. More bones. More bones in here. Something died. Not sure what. Guess I am finding some bone. Not any antlers, but some bone. That's a win for me. But I did just find some fresh poop. Like, that's about as fresh as it gets right there. Okay, I followed a logging road up out of the bottom, come up to the saddle, and then I seen trails running around the side of the around the side of the saddle and over to this point. So I followed it, and I come across 2 fresh beds. Obviously, it's the same deer bedding here; they're side by side, but probably just depending on the wind. I mean, look how fresh this is. Look at all that deer hair in there. Pretty big bed too, side by side. So probably just maybe depending on the wind, which way he wants to face. Looking down this side of the hill or looking down this side of the point. But, I mean, geez. Both pretty big beds. And very fresh it seems. There's also another one. Right here. Kind of. There's some hair in it. This one doesn't seem to be used as much as the one directly on the point here. But this looks like a really good spot. So I'm gonna mark this, and then I'm probably gonna end up hunting this saddle. And I think with the right wind, it'll act like the wind will at least be in his favor. I got good access. It's like I'm giving him the wind, but I'm not giving him the wind. I'll set up downwind of the trail. He'll end up wrapping around this mountain, and that's a good shot opportunity right there. So yeah, this is actually a southeast facing slope. So this is a really good spot. I like all my spots I find, if you haven't noticed. So I'm exactly 1 mile from the truck. So not even a bad hike in. And yeah, so now I'm just gonna start working my way back to the truck, looking for more sign, seeing what that saddle looks like. There's some more saddles throughout, and let's see what I get into out there. I was literally just following the point where the bedding was. I seen a nice trail coming around the other side of the mountain over to this point where it drops down off gradually into the bottom. And look at the size of this bed. It's like, this is another nice bed. There's hair in them, so these are also some good beds. There's like a low spot in the hill here, so can't see them. See some buck rubs leading up out of here. And yeah, this looks like I'm gonna say that about everything I found. Not really, but this is a good spot.
steep terrain. You can see long ways. And I guarantee you, when I get over to this point, we're gonna find some goodies. This buck obviously feels very safe on this ridge. Here's another bed, just, you know, 20 yards from that one. Like, this dude has a lot of options. I really want to find a shed. I feel like this is gonna be the spot to find a shed if I find one. Okay, drop down off the main ridge, drop down to like the secondary point. Found a couple beds in like these little saplings, and got some fresh, well, it's not fresh, but it's not too old, a poop, and some more deer here. So there's a bed there. Looks like there's another bed right here. It's pretty matted down, and there is some hair in it, so. This is starting to make a lot more sense to me. I just found 1, 2, 3, and there's a couple beds over there. So this is definitely doe bedding down here, which is smaller beds. And up on the ridge up there, there's that's where all those buck beds are. So the buck's really at an advantage with the south facing slope here, and the thermal's rising, and he can just smell them doe down here without even having to get up. A lot of nice old buck rubs in this doe bedding area, even a scrape. So it's a really good sign and a really good spot. But the access for this spot, oh man, that's tough. So if anything, I'd rather hunt up here where the saddle is, where he could be going from this doe bedding to another doe bedding back and forth. I said there's just acorns everywhere, so I'm sure the doe are just bedded on these flats like that, and these bucks are just up on these points. So yeah, a lot of good information today. And heading back towards the truck, got about a mile, and I'm gonna look for more sign on the way out there. Come up on this flat, up on this ridge, and started finding a lot of buck sign, a lot of nice scrapes down here, some rubs. But this is like what I want to show you guys about these scrapes. See how it's like as big as my finger? Like, and it's 5 foot high. So when you start getting into some scrapes like this, broken off like that, that's a mature deer snapping that off. He's really letting out some frustration. I mean, this looks like he even tried rubbing this a little bit. But there's a bunch of buck rubs through here, man. There's a bunch, old ones, and like last year's. There's just a bunch of sign in here that I really like to see. Just wanted to show you guys real quick what I'm talking about when I'm talking about reading rubs and stuff like that. But I just came across this rub. Clearly this one's from last year. Now don't mind the size of the tree. It is a decent sized tree, but what I notice is it's a little higher than all the other rubs that I've been seeing, for more or less. And it's actually coming from this buck bed that I found on this south facing slope, and it's running from west to east, this trail. Literally just come across the trail and I was like, oh, let me follow this out real quick. Seen this rub and I come up here. So look at these tine marks clear back here. That deer's forehead had to stop right here. And if you're looking at it from the side, let me see. If his antlers can only reach here, look. That's like another 12 inches past that tree, and his tines are scraping this up pretty good. So that deer's probably got at least 10-inch tines. I mean, I know he's getting in there. He's getting in there real good like this. You know what I'm saying? But to me, 100% mature deer made this rub. And that's the easiest way I can tell. That's literally my hand 7 inches long. So it's about 12 inches to that next tree. That's a good sign. Typical buck bed over there. And I guarantee there's a mature deer bedding on this hill. Just another thing is, like, I'm finding a lot of sign up here, and typically, like, when I found multiple beds over there, but all buck beds and doe beds right down below him, and that south facing slope with them thermals coming up, like, this is his spot. He's laying down sign, letting other bucks know, like, hey, don't come in here. I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be problems. So he's pretty aggressive. What? That kind of looks like a bait site. I don't know. I don't see no tree stand. I haven't seen any tree stands back here, and nothing like that. So, but man, that's just a deep hole in the ground. I don't know. That could even be a bear den. Like, I'm not messing with that. There's another really good trail though. That's for sure. I don't know. Somebody could have been baiting there at one time. The ground's pretty bare. Bare. Okay, back to it. Here's some mountain turkeys gobbling off in the distance. I've never actually seen any mountain turkeys, but found another nice buck there. Heading back to the truck. There's a saddle over this way. I was about to follow the main deer trail that went up on top of this hill, and I was like, no, mature buck ain't gonna skyline himself like that. And I seen a faint trail coming around the side. Wouldn't you know it, I look over this dip, there's a flat spot, a little bit of cover behind him, a nice big old bed, bunch of hair in it, and another trail leading out around. So I'm gonna follow this out, see where that goes. Still just following this faint trail just off the top of this ridge right here, and just come right across another buck bed. Pretty good sized bed, some hair just under the leaves, so that's used fairly recent. Well, in this past season at least. This is a good, like, this whole ridge, man, is just loaded with buck beds. I don't know if it's multiple bucks or just one buck or what, but lots of good intel, and I'm loving it. That was one successful day in the PA Big Woods, I will tell you that. Literally, I just downloaded Spartan Forge the other day. I used HuntWise before, but I just started using Spartan Forge. And I tell you what, it's covered. I have so many pins, so many good signs, and now I literally cannot wait till fall gets here, and I can't wait to get closer to season to throw out some trail cameras, because I'm not throwing them out now. I feel like there's no point. Their patterns are going to change, and I don't want to replace the batteries. So as soon as season gets closer, I'm gonna come back, drop some cams, and stay up out of here till season hits. But this is about to be a fire season, I already know it. I need a mature mountain buck down on the ground, looking for that 140 mark. But I ain't gonna lie, 130 walks by me, I'm smoking it. I haven't shot enough big deer yet to where I need to pass that up. So, but just know 140 is my goal. Thanks for tuning in. Let's knock them out. We'll see you next time.